This PC has been listed for 2 months and still hasn't sold.
Trade for a PS5? No.
Trade for an Xbox? No.
Trade for a dirt bike? No.
Over the last couple episodes of the PC flipping series, we've focused solely on commissions. As fun as they are honestly kind of stressful and they're a lot of work, so I decided that it's time to go back to the basics of if you build it, they will come.
During one of my many browsing online for good deals sessions, I came across a Montech Air 1000 Premium ATX case for $69.99. A sleek ATX case with 4 pre-installed fans and a controller for $69.99. You better believe I grabbed a couple of these suckers. I looked it up in a value. This is like this price always, so make sure you grab a few of these. They're great cases.
After I received these cases, I realized that they were a lot more premium feeling than most cases that I work with in this channel, since they're more budget builds like the DIY PC Cube 1, and they don't really have the best case quality, the build quality, so it only felt fitting to put good quality parts into this PC, parts that would make this a little beefier than usual.
A while back, I scored a Ryzen 5600 for $118.70. I know it's not a great price, but it turned out great because the seller actually sent me a 5800X. I reached out, pointed this error, but they said just keep it, whatever. So now I had a 5800X for $118. Went from a horrible deal to a pretty great deal. I combined this with a 3-fan 3060 Ti that I got. Decided to do a 3-fan since an ATX case, a 2-fan would look a little small. The motherboard I used was an Asus TUF B550 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi that I got locally for $100. Threw in a brand new Corsair Vengeance LPX 32 gigs, RAM clocked at 3600 megahertz, a Kingspec NX 1TB NVMe, Corsair RM750E PSU that was on sale for $70, which was a great deal, and some Formula Mod wide extension cables that I got from AliExpress for $16.44. With these AliExpress ones, check the description because they come with different PCIe cables, so I got the one with 2.
And I listed this beauty for $1,200. I know this was the highest price I've ever put up on a PC, and I know $1,200 for this is really pushing it, but this was my first entry into the $1,000 market, and so I just wanted to see how well it would perform and just see what would happen. I was excited since, up until this point, all of my flips have sold pretty quickly, within a week to 3, and I've been pretty successful with it. So I was honestly riding pretty high and mighty, thinking I can, fetch whatever I want for this. Let's just, I can sit on it for a while. Let's see what happens.
And suffer I did. I waited, and I waited. A few people did reach out, but it wasn't anything serious. Some trade offers as always. But I was used to hundreds of views within just a few days from all the budget builds, and this one was not getting nearly as many. I kept knocking down the price, $50 here, $50 there. I was about to give up. Until someone serious reached out, but they asked if I had another PC installed.
So someone finally reached out about the Montech case PC, but they said he wanted something less powerful. Like he asked for a CPU with fewer cores, a non-TI version of the GPU, 16 gigs instead of 32 gigs of RAM. So I'm not exactly sure why he wanted those specifics, but I actually do have a 3060 12 gigs on hand, so that's gonna be perfect for this guy.
This Ryzen 5600 I got with a stock cooler for $102.55 off eBay, which is a pretty good deal at the time. But I knew that instead of the stock cooler, I was going to use the Sama CPU air cooler that I got. It's the KA600D ARGB. I got it for $21.59. And honestly, the reason I got this is because it has this cool outer edge that the Thermalright CPU coolers that we use don't have. So, and I figured I've bought a lot of these Sama cases, so I could probably throw that in there. This is all on the ASRock B450M ACR 2.0, by the way. It's a motherboard that we always use since it comes with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I bought this one when prices went back up to $80.99, which is not a good deal at all, but it is what it is. For the storage, we got a Kingspec NX 1TB. Got this NVMe for $56.15. Kingspec is usually one of the cheaper brand new SSDs that you can buy. So I've been going for a lot of these Kingspec ones recently. For the RAM, I picked up some G-Skill Ripjaws locally for $20. This is a 16 gigabyte kit, clocked at 3600 megahertz. So for $20, I was very happy to pair it with a 5600 for this really nice man. For the power supply, we got a high power 600 watts that I got off of eBay for $37.78. I knew that this one would be plenty. And one of the reasons I used it is it's one of those rare kind of cheap low wattage PSUs that actually comes with 2 PCIe cables, so that was really nice. And the case that we have all of this in is the Sama AM07. It's a micro ATX case. This is no longer available. This was on sale for like 30 bucks at some point when they were clearing out stock. I unfortunately missed that one. I got it for $53.99, which is still, pretty good to come with the pre-installed fans and everything. But this was also nice because it comes with a controller, so I was able to plug in that Sama cooler directly in with the controller, so it was going to be synced up with all the case fans.
He said he had a friend who knows about PC stuff, so he was asking him about some of the things and relaying the information. So when I sent him the final specs list, he was actually super happy, and I sent him a bunch of the process pictures and videos along the way, and he was super happy to buy this thing.
He asked for benchmarks, so I sent him the 3D Mark Time Spy benchmarks that we always run on all these flips. Showed him some videos of the PC running. This is something you should always do, both to give confidence to the buyer, but also just to cover yourself as the seller, to showcase that this actually does run before you sell it. Here you go. Have my test setup here. PC. I'll explain all this to you tomorrow, but that's where the PS... Man, this is so dark in here. Hold on, let me get my... Look at this light in here. Come on, there it is. Okay. So HDMI cable, power supply cord plugged in there. There will be Wi-Fi antennas. And don't mind this screen, very dirty. Anyway, got my setup here. Press the turn on. Everything turns on. As you can see, beautifully lit, beautiful looking PC if I do say so myself. Don't mind all this stuff, it's just a bunch of other PC stuff. If you have any friends that need PCs, let me know. And there you go. Boots up. I have Windows 11 Pro set up on here. It's set up for just an admin user right there, and there's no password, so you're good on that. Yeah, as you can see. Anyway, as you can see, works good. And you go down here and shut down. Look at how cool this keyboard is, by the way, man. It looks so cool. Anyway, there you go. So we met up, and this guy was probably the best customer I ever had. From the moment we get out of the cars, he comes up, he shakes my hand with both his hands. He says, "Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for the clear communication." And we had a great interaction. I walked him through everything. I did the classic, unveil, take it out of the box, show him where everything is, make sure he puts the HDMI cord directly into the GPU, not into the motherboards. And the guy was just so appreciative. He thanked me over and over. We had a nice chat, talked about PCs, told him what I have in my PC, things like that. And as soon as he got home, he set it up, sent me a picture of what his setup looks like. He was a great guy. From the moment he reached out to me about the other PC to the moment we met up with his new PC, it took about 4 days. Total cost is $550.05. Sell price was $900, so a total profit of $346.95. It's by far my highest profit ever.
After this great interaction and great profit, I was ready to get rid of the Montech case PC after it had been sitting on for a whole month. So it did happen eventually, but not for a whole nother month. Guess where the buyer for this PC came from? That's right, it was another person who was looking at a different listing and decided they needed something different. So remember with the previous PC, the guy found the Montech case PC and decided he needed something less beefy. Well, this other guy found a budget PC that I have and decided he needed something beefier. So this should go to show you, it's not a bad idea to have a few PCs listed at different price points, different looks, different budgets, to give people the ability to browse through and pick what it is that they really want. And this enables you to captivate the market at different price points.
So this guy reached out to me about a Ryzen 3600 and RX 5700 XT build that I had listed, which is a classic combo we do in this channel. I sell a lot of those. He was ready to meet up. We talked about it. We set a date, but then he told me that a buddy of his said that, well, first of all, a buddy of his told him that this processor was from like 2011, which I said, that's just simply not true. And then he said that a Ryzen 5 was not good, and he asked me if I had anything higher than that. So I tried to explain to him, look, with the games you told me you play, this is going to be plenty for you. But he wanted something with just a higher number attached to it. So I told him I have a Ryzen 7 5800X build, if you'd like. So I steered him towards the 5800X build that was too beefy for the other guy. He told me he would buy for $1,000. I accepted it right there and then because at this point, it had been 2 months of this PC sitting around. And here's the parts list for that again. Total build cost was $758.41 and sell price was $1,000, so a net profit of $241.59. Now this was really not that bad. Factoring in how long I waited was a little bit insane, obviously. I don't suggest this to most of you because if you don't have a lot of funds and you can only flip one at a time, don't sit on your PCs for this long. Learn from my mistakes. This was my first high-end build that I sold. And as you can see, it took me 2 months to sell. I did admittedly, overlist the price just to see what would happen, but no one was really offering anywhere near. I had a few offers at like $800 or something, which, from my build cost, you can see you could build this for $800, but to sell it to make a profit, it just wasn't worth it to me. So I was honestly happy that even after 2 entire months, I was able to make over $200 in profit in this. But this is just to point out to you that we're starting to see a trend over here that higher end PCs may not be the way to go. Now, obviously, time of year is important as well. Around Christmas time, I think you can sell pretty much anything, honestly. But this being kind of the end of the spring, beginning of summertime, economic times as they are, people don't maybe have as much expendable income that they can just, put into PCs like this. But in future flipping episodes, we will be dealing with even higher end PCs. So stay tuned to find out if we can sell those or not. Okay, what's next? Well, we said we were going back to the basics, but we're actually going to go way back to the actual basics, which is an actual budget build. So tune in to see which types of PCs we actually build and sell in the next episode. Thank you for watching.